Hey everybody, let me update you on a little situation. Sri Lanka will be installing garbage cans every 2 meters in major cities. That's all the information I'm giving you. What I just did here is give you a one-way piece of information. I just gave you the info, but you can't ask me if it's real or when they started on this or when the installation will start. You just have to take my word for it. Most media operates this way. They give us the info and we just have to take it in without being able to follow up with the institution that said it. By the way, it was fake news. We still throw our garbage on the side of the road. Now, this leaves journalists and reporters with the heavy duty of relaying the truth. And we rely on their honesty. But it's not that easy. There are lots of challenges when it comes to putting information out. And amongst them are corruption, lack of foundation, and certain repercussions on freedom of speech.
But despite having all these journalists, a lot of people still go to social media to get their news. Why is that? Sometimes you click on an article and the copy is just the headline with a few more words. It really makes you wonder what happens behind the curtains here in Sri Lanka. So, to become a journalist, you will of course do your studies, write a few essays and learn all the different types of journalism like investigative, news, reviews, columns and feature writing. You will learn about the Code of Professional Conduct or Code of Ethics developed by the Editors Guild of Sri Lanka. You will learn how to contribute meaningfully to society.
Despite that, you will still find that some people bypass everything Rumashi just said and learn on the job. They will rely on their editors and senior journalists to impart their wisdom. But is that wise, given the everyday hassle and high-paced energy of the newsroom? Can they truly learn the ethics and techniques of journalism by simply following and doing everything their senior commands them to? And that is why we sometimes have poor journalism and reporting. And when it comes to ethics, we definitely aren't the best. To this day, we still have sexist, racist, and insensitive articles that stir up tensions and reinforce ignorance. But how can that be when we have a code of ethics? Why is there no real accountability?
In order for people to follow ethical journalism, journalists have to be held accountable for what they write and say by regulators. Unfortunately, when it comes to regulating news, Sri Lanka definitely has some problems. While journalists may want to represent everyone objectively, the reality of journalism is that choices must be made. And those decisions are most of the time influenced by their editors and bosses, who in turn might be influenced by political figures with hidden agendas. Which is why we have more opinions than facts in our articles.
But the biggest challenge that we have had was freedom of speech. Journalists will tell you it's not just government actors, but businesses and large private corporations who attempt to dictate editorial policies. And when it comes to independent journalists and reporters, it's really not easy. We are all aware of how dangerous it can be to speak against certain people in Sri Lanka. But the arrival of the internet has enabled citizens to be part of a larger community and voice their opinions not only in Sri Lanka, but to the world. This gives us hope that we can have media plurality and be able to voice our opinions without fearing harassment and physical confrontation. This is a step towards greater freedom and democracy.
Despite all these challenges, we are working towards our goal, and you, the consumer, can also help strengthen our journalism culture in Sri Lanka. By asking the right questions, we are keeping the media institutions accountable, and we can ultimately improve the quality of journalism together.
Because without you, there would be no journalism. See you in the next one.